I can have night terrors, hallucinations.
I know.
You might end up getting karate kicks in the sleep. To fix my neck, they have to put a metal bar around here and screw it.
Okay.
Really? Oh my gosh, she is a psychopath.
Awesome!
90 Day Fiancé, as usual, is giving me trust issues. One of the first people we were introduced to on this season of The Other Way was Kris. She's a single mom living in the Bible Belt of the US. After many years of her hiding her bisexuality in Alabama, she is now out and proud.
I've been married twice. They both were not very long marriages. I never was happy in my relationships.
After Kris's kids were grown, she decided to look online to try to find her soulmate. And that's when she met Jeymi.
She is my first serious relationship with a woman.
And even though they had never met in person, they had plans to get married as soon as possible. This is first set up as a familiar storyline, with the classic twist that Kris is moving to Colombia to marry a woman she has never met.
Our relationship has entirely been over the phone.
The explanation for the rush is that Jeymi was hospitalized when she had COVID, and that scare made Kris decide that she wasn't going to wait to marry Jeymi in the US.
I almost lost her once. I'm not going to risk losing her again.
Instead, they plan to get married 9 days after Kris moves to Colombia. By first impressions, it seemed like we were about to witness the hurdles these two would have as a new couple getting to know each other. But when we are introduced to Jeymi, we start to get glimpses of some odd behavior from Kris.
After 1 month talking online, Kris said, I want to marry you.
A quick proposal is not unusual on the show, but these two had not even met in person yet. And Kris has a pattern of going missing for days and sometimes weeks at a time, which is weird. There wasn't a clear reason given for why Kris does this, but apparently they worked it out, even though Jeymi started to talk to someone else while Kris was missing.
Fue justo cuando mi abuela fallece. Yo me sentía muy mal, me sentía muy sola.
She supposedly stopped all contact with the other woman and says that Kris is the one. But the red flags around Kris's behavior start to stack up. Kris claims to have a sleep disorder called narcolepsy.
I have memory problems. I have sleep spells. I'll just fall asleep.
Her house also burned down 5 years ago, and we find her frantically trying to fix it right before she leaves for Colombia. Her behavior seems erratic, and nothing like her introduction on the show. And then she talks about finding out that Jeymi was talking to another woman. The person that texted her claimed that Jeymi was using Kris for money, and that Jeymi lied about being hospitalized when she had COVID. So instead of Kris taking a step back after all these claims against her fiancé she hasn't even met yet, she still impulsively decides she wants to rush the marriage. This all just seems off, doesn't it? And the very beginning of their story was misleading. Kris also doesn't address her ghosting Jeymi at all. Jeymi does confirm that Kris nods off on phone calls, but there could be many reasons for that. I don't know anything about narcolepsy, but does it make you disappear for 3 weeks? So what is really going on here? Is Jeymi a scammer? And why does Kris have such strange behavior? This doesn't seem to be a predictable story at all. There is a ton of mystery as to what is really going on with Kris. And I think we are just beginning to discover the issues these two really have. Kris leaves for Colombia, and when she lands, the severity of her issues comes to light.
I can have night terrors, hallucinations.
I know.
And on the next day, her first real day in Colombia, she has an odd request.
We're gonna have to go to a pharmacy today. The airport threw away my toothpaste.
So you would think that she could just use Jeymi's, right? Well, there's another problem.
I'm allergic to mint, so I can't have any toothpaste that has mint in it.
I'm surprised that Jeymi hadn't heard this before in their whole 1 year of talking on the phone. But I really got suspicious of this when they arrive at the pharmacy.
I have a really bad neck and a bad back.
She gets some sort of painkiller over the counter, and her explanation for why she needs this is again weird.
I broke my neck in a car accident, and 7 days later, I was rear-ended again, going home from the hospital.
2 accidents in 1 week. What are the odds? I am not going to say that this woman has a drug addiction, but the editing on the show is pointing in that direction. So Kris, if you don't like people wondering about this, blame TLC for editing you this way.
This is what my doctor in America told me to get when my neck started hurting really bad here.
Kris says she needs surgery for the pain, but has been putting it off. I mean, she seemed to be hopping around pretty well in her intro, but what do I know?
To fix my neck, they have to put a metal bar around here and screw it for a year.
This is supposedly a $100,000 surgery, and this is only their first full day together that Jeymi is hearing this.
In this moment, I don't know what to think about this.
Big Ed the Fly wants to remind you to subscribe to this channel.
You're my best view.
It's day 2 of Kris living in Colombia, and an old friend is making an appearance. That's right, the trusty translator. An OG device that, if anything, made communication worse for Devin and Jihoon.
내가 또 실수를 할까봐 내가 그 돈을 또 낭비를 할까봐.
I'll make another mistake. I'll waste that money again.
Translator.
And the first thing Kris asks to do that day is just as bizarre as yesterday's request.
I want to go to a store where they have weapons.
Gotta love that delayed translator reaction.
I don't really like the idea.
Weapons and narcolepsy sound like a bad mix.
You feel safe for this? Bad.
I'm scared right now.
And this is only day 2. She isn't even trying to hide her crazy until after the wedding. I can understand her concern for safety, but the knife she goes to look at are massive. I love how Jeymi says that she could kill a cow with it because, I mean, it's excessive.
Wait. Let me see.
Keep him at bay.
Oh my God, I'm nervous right now.
Yeah.
She looks pretty insane pretending to stab with it in the store, too.
I hope the girl for the store don't think, oh my God, she is a psychopath.
Yeah, Jeymi, you should run.
Recibí uno igual para mi cumpleaños cuando cumplí 8 años.
Genial, yo recibí una Barbie.
Jeymi has had so many of Kris's health problems dumped on her in the last 2 days, but she still agrees to get the knife on one condition.
No en el cuarto, pero sí lo podemos llevar.
I have yet to hear about much baggage from Jeymi's side, but I feel like she has to have some to put up with all of this. I keep thinking that she has time to change her mind about marrying Kris, but she really doesn't. They are supposed to be getting married in what, like 7 days now? You really have to wonder what she's now thinking of this. TLC tricked us with Kris's introduction at the beginning of the show. Did she trick Jeymi too? She said she wanted to marry Jeymi after only 1 month of talking online, and now she's marrying her as fast as possible when she gets to Colombia, before Jeymi has a chance to change her mind. But we're only a few episodes in. We don't really know what Jeymi's story is yet. Maybe it ends up being as strange as Kris's. On the next episode, it looks like their wedding gets delayed.
I may have to leave back to Alabama.
No voy a regresar.
Which in Jeymi's case might actually be a good thing. More time to run away. We will have to wait and see how this season plays out. Anyways, thanks for watching. Bye!